Sucked. How everybody feeling tonight? All right, here we go. I want you to reach deep inside. The deepest part of that ocean you call a mind, and let us submerge our psyche into the pressure which is beneath our own comprehension. Matter of fact, let us dive into that mental submarine that we barely use as a shallow civilization. You see, we are all confined in what we see, taste, touch, hear, and smell. We as humans cannot think of something out of nothing. It is entirely impossible for us to do that. You and I must reference what already exists, just like this floor I'm standing on. If I have been taught that this floor is the color orange, and you have been taught that this same floor is the color black, then I guess that's not what makes orange the new black, right? And although that TV show is so popular, and you probably T-voted before you left home, see some of you automatically thought of a series that airs on television. However, if you knew nothing about this show, you would have no colors to correlate the show with, right? Or how about the everyday common words which is magnified in our vocabulary, like the word big, for instance, right? I mean, when I reference big, I think of the solar system or the planet Earth, or maybe even on a smaller scale, I think of the tallest building in Dubai. Yet, what if there was someone or something on a larger magnitude whose weight and mass surpasses all the knowledge that our minds could possibly live? Or how about the word small? I mean, think of the most minuscule object you can possibly ponder about. What is it, an atom or a dot? I mean, there are things on a smaller scale that even if we were shrink down to a size and look at it with our own two eyes, we would have no clue what it is that we've encountered. And that alone proves that we are limited. It's just like when some people say, I don't believe in God. Or I don't believe that statement to be true. I don't believe that team will win like the Miami Heat 2 years ago. Then later on they find out that that statement was false premise in the first place. But this poem has nothing to do with bashing people's religious beliefs or anything like that, but it does have everything to do with how finite we are as human beings. It's just like when some say God is perfect. I mean, they say that with full confidence and strong aggression. Even with that much conviction filling air in their lungs, it is still difficult for them to grasp the concept of what perfect is in an imperfect mind. Like how God can live beyond the boundaries of our own personal thoughts. I mean, we can call him perfect, but perfect to us doesn't even describe what perfect really is, because when I imagine perfect, I imagine an ocean blue sky, no problems in my life. Yet, there is still some sort of imperfection in the perfect I base perfection off of, because our thoughts can only swim so deep and can only reach an altitude so high before we ultimately black out. Because as human beings, we know this, that no matter how much college theories we research, it still in the end may not even matter after death, right? Or because our presence can only touch so far, and our knowledge can only touch so many. And limits are boundaries, and we practically all have them. Too complex for you and I to live without. And it's only because it's impossible for us to break beyond the barriers of our own personal thoughts. You know what I've learned through all this talk, guys? That no matter what happens in our life, when things don't go according to our little plans and are out of our control, we automatically freak out. I mean, let me give you an example. Raise your hand if you're afraid of planes. Now, is it the actual plane you are afraid of? Or is it the turbulence in the sky that causes your stomach to go up and down and causes you to think of a crash landing site? See, the point I'm making is I'm not trying to make you scared. I'm just trying to make you see that when things are out of our control, we automatically freak out. But let's just say that before we knew what control tasted like, before we ever knew what an idea was, let's just say that there was nothing but one who created existence. Crazy for us to even imagine. Long before history ever wrote encyclopedias about itself. Long before stories were ever written about ideas to give us what the world looked like. There was nothing but one. And it's only because we can refer to what we know. Anything outside of that is strenuous for us to think about. Which proves that for all of us, that for us to produce something out of nothing is beyond our limitations. Thank you. Microwave. Was it 30 seconds ago? Instantaneously heating up a cinematic profile so tomorrow's status will eventually turn cold? Too fast, too furious. It's the update on our thumbprints. Smearing identity on the screen whose sole purpose is to fill calories on our personal index. We text like 1,000 pounds per square second, pushing pressure into every word we write. Interaction has become a Neanderthal language, eating through our stomachs as major parasites. You remember, if you're old enough, no offense, when interaction forced us to read actual books? Now, the mirrors is our computer phones and is a clear reflection to cover up how our face actually looks. You see, I had a dream one night that I saw summer drowning, thunder pounding, lost my appetite to fresh salad since I was cast away on 1,000 islands. Life became a myth and warfare, just like Clash of the Titans. Now I am 35 years of age and I've woken up out of a coma since my iPhone and Percocets and computer sheltered me into a midlife crisis. I am stabbing the silence that you wear as daily fabric. I am abusing the sin that you make love to with filthy habits. Time ticking beats. It's the drug we need rehab from. Networking to an ant colony so the new world order can't figure out what we will become. This internet rapid savvy culture has us totally tangled us in this web. If we are what we eat, then no wonder we're the minute rights up on the shelves. From flashlights to flash drives, high beams on laptops, HD sensor Blu-rays, that erase the relationships on your Xbox. Desktop leave no room for rest stops. Turn you and I into Pac-Man while we're steady chasing the government's next plots. Hamsters in the mental wheel. So we lost the urge to form willpower. So until we willpower, turn our minds into real power, then technology will constantly steal ours. Since time's a wasted. Infiltrating our generation with the prime stimulation that retracts us from the mind levitation. So I chose to Jean Grey my future into the Phoenix. Arizona sandstorm into a 3011 Prius. Blacked out every phone, till every person in the civilization and world turns into a genius. Force everyone who hears me to listen to this poem till they're able to fix the Rubik's Cube with their eyes closed without any stipulation. So if I happen to be the one to change this society, then I don't want no notoriety. I just want to go back to the days when competing to win a Pulitzer Prize is normal and final. I want to see kids play like monkeys. So diabetes is an ancient word. And hospitals can ensure that pill-popping drug addicts to stomp out their same futures on a curb. I'm more than a word. I'm a verb. And I want you all to be. So everyone, for 1 second, put your phones down and look at me. Until the day we change and stop allowing technology to treat us as robots, then we'll only exist and not live as long as we're above our graves. Because like I said at the beginning of this poem, my friends, when was the last time you Instagrammed your microwave?